What would you say has been the impact that it's had in your heart, in your mind, in your spirit, in your gifts, and your creativity, you being a part of serving and worship at MC? And even you mentioned needing healing. Something that I've learned from like a relationship standpoint is, if you're broken in relationship, part of the healing has to take place in relationship.
Yeah.
It can't just take place when you're single. And I know that is true in other areas as well, because I've seen it. So like, what did that healing journey look like after you joined worship too?
Yeah, it was, I lived life solo for basically my whole life. Like I was a very internal kid. And so I think the tipping of domino was when Pastor Jasmine, we met up one day and she asked me a question. She's like, Jay, like, who knows your whole life story? And it hit me like, no one knows my whole life story. Like, I think I was always a person that knew everyone's life story because I wanted to be there for them. I was a lot of stuff in my life that I didn't have. I didn't have like a steady brother. I didn't have like a father figure. I didn't have these things. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if you never had it, just be it for somebody else. And so I was able to be it, but never knew how to receive it. And so that became like the tipping of the domino for me, walking with people of like, oh, Jay, like when you're struggling, like it's okay to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I'm struggling, and not suffer alone. Like when you just need a prayer or, or if you just want to hang with somebody, like it's okay to reach out and be like, hey, I actually need some time just to kick it with you, I think just in that aspect of community that they fostered for me at that stage was like what I needed. It was a breath of fresh air for me. And it really showed me how important it is to steward those atmospheres of authenticity and community with worship. Like it's one thing we can come and we can do our task, say as Levites, but it's another thing when you can look across that stage and say, oh, I actually love this person. I know this person. I remember when they walked me through this moment where I wanted to give up. And I remember when me and her talked that one time and we connected and the Lord came, we just prayed and then we felt the glory. Like we could pull back on history. And it just speaks to God's heart for community. And one of the things I've also learned just being a part of just that worship community is that we always say it got to a point for me, like my church, we have a mission, I believe, like from the Lord. Like some people, like I see different worship teams, like they have different missions. Like some have the ability to, they're tasked to sit at his feet with the oil, some have the task to like carry a big mirror that Jesus, for you to look at him, and I think about the different churches, like different churches you hold a mission from the Lord of like what the Levites, how he wants his Levites of that house to sound. There's certain songs that no matter how small or how big the church is, there are certain songs I believe that for your house that he wants to give to you to steward in your communities, to sing out, to partner with what the Lord is saying in your house. And so I know in Mercy Culture, it's like we're gearing up, ready for war in a way. And so I had to learn and ask the Lord, what is that for me? Because for me, some would say I lean more like Jesus culture, like, Lord Jesus, Mm-hmm. But, we got Mercy Culture, Spirit of Wisdom. Like, it's very, like, intense for some.
Sure. Yeah, you're right.
It's very, like, charge, like, full regalia. Yeah. And so I had to learn even that, like, what's the difference between my sound and what's the difference between the sound of the house and what the Lord is doing and it was very humbling to be like, oh Lord, like sometimes people would take their sound and want to like, well, it's not my sound, so that maybe this is not how it's supposed to be. But it's like, no, what is the Lord doing in this moment? And I realized that I get to submit to what the Lord is doing. Even when it comes to songs, like I may want to sing "Oh, May Down How to Farm," but that might not be the mission of this Sunday. It may be Humpty Dumpty fell on the wall. You know, like, and I wouldn't be in unity with the Lord. And I'm singing, you know, oh, my, don't know how to farm, when actually he wants to address, you know, Humpty Dumpty on the wall, you know?
I gotta see.